Today, Anthropic shipped the most capable AI model you can actually use. And a second version of the exact same model that's so capable, it's restricted to a small circle of cyber defenders working with the US government. Same model under the hood. Two names: Claude Fable 5 and Claude Mythos 5. The only difference is the guardrails. And here's the part most people will miss. When you ask Fable the wrong kind of question, you don't get a refusal. You quietly get a different model. Let me show you how this actually works. This is the announcement from this morning. Fable 5 is what Anthropic calls a Mythos class model. That's a new capability tier that sits above Opus and is state-of-the-art on nearly every benchmark they tested. The names are the tell. Fable comes from the Latin fabula, that which is told. Same story as Mythos. Safer telling. Anthropic says the safeguards are the only reason the two have different names. Here's the architecture decision that makes this launch work. Every request to Fable 5 passes through safety classifiers. Separate AI systems watching for three things: cybersecurity, biology, and chemistry, and attempts to distill the model into a competitor. If a classifier triggers, your request doesn't fail. It silently falls back to Claude Opus 4.8, their next most capable model, and you're informed when it happens. Anthropic says this triggers in less than 5% of sessions. So more than 95% of the time, Fable 5 is Mythos 5. You're running the unrestricted model's full capability with a bouncer at the door. Now the receipts. These are Anthropic's own published numbers, so add salt to taste. On the toughest real-world software engineering benchmark, Fable 5 scores 80.3%. Opus 4.8, the model that was state-of-the-art last week, sits at 69.2. And on Frontier Code Diamond, the 50 hardest production coding tasks in that benchmark, it more than doubles Opus, 29.3 versus 13.4. But this is the chart I'd actually pay attention to, because it plots accuracy against cost per task. The orange line is Fable 5. At medium effort, it already beats Opus 4.8 running flat out. That's more capability per dollar, not just more capability. Stripe got early access and pointed it at a 50 million line Ruby codebase. A migration they sized at 2 months for a whole team. Fable finished in a day. So what about the restricted twin? Mythos 5 ships with the cyber safeguards lifted, and Anthropic calls it the strongest cybersecurity model in the world. Access runs through Project Glasswing, a program with the US government, plus vetted cyber defenders and infrastructure providers. Biology researchers get their own trusted access track in the coming weeks. And inside Anthropic, the unrestricted model is already doing real science. It sped up parts of their drug design process about 10 times, and it trained a genomics model, largely on its own, that beat a result published in the journal Science. If routing the dangerous stuff to a safer model sounds flimsy, here's the test data. An external bug bounty threw over 1,000 hours at Fable's classifiers, and nobody found a universal jailbreak. And on Anthropic's own misalignment assessment, Mythos 5 scores 2.06, statistically the same as Opus 4.8. More capable did not mean less aligned, at least on their measurements. So here's the practical part. Pricing is $10 per million input tokens, 50 out. Less than half of what Mythos Preview cost. And if you're on a Pro, Max, Team, or Enterprise plan, Fable 5 is included at no extra cost until June 22nd. After that, it moves to usage credits while they sort out capacity. That's a 2-week window on a Frontier model, and the clock is already running. I'm TechDad. The full announcement and the system card are linked in the description. If you want the follow-up where I put Fable 5 through real production tests, subscribe. See you in the next one.